Her lungs were filled with fluid and she couldn't breathe, yet they turned her away at the emergency room. A week later, Brittany Jones was diagnosed with heart failure. Today, I sit down with Brittany and I hear her journey of the heart. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Brittany Jones. Brittany, thank you so much for being here with us on Heartquake. This is Heartquake. We talk about it, trauma of the heart. How did you advocate for yourself? And, it sounds like you were misdiagnosed.
Definitely misdiagnosed. I flew home to visit my family, and I got home about 2 a.m, and my aunt noticed that I wasn't myself. She was like, I think you should go to the emergency room. No one in our brains connected that, I was having heart symptoms or symptoms related to heart disease. So it was during the time of the pandemic. So we didn't know. She just knew that I probably should go to the emergency room. And while I was waiting for my uncle to come take me to the emergency room, I tried to put on my clothes and I fell out because I was so much fluid on my lungs.
Wow. So you were swollen then?
I was, a lot of fluid on my lungs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't breathe.
So when you fell out, you fell down or you couldn't get in?
I just couldn't catch my breath.
You couldn't okay. So you couldn't catch your breath.
Yes.
Okay.
And so my aunt, she's a school teacher. She was teaching summer school. So she was running around at the time, getting her kids situated.
Yeah.
And her youngest was there with me. I was getting dressed. And like I said, just to put on my shirt, I just couldn't breathe. And so I lost my breath and I couldn't find my cell phone. The only thing I could think to do was get outside. So I opened up the garage and walked outside, and I was trying to get to the neighbor's house to tell them, ask them to call 911. But in the meantime, my cousin, she found my cell phone and called her mom, and my aunt called the ambulance. So It was kind of a dramatic morning, but I fell out trying to get outside because I was just so out of breath.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened in that moment? In looking back, what could have been different, or how do you feel you could have advocated more for yourself, or what are the signs and symptoms that you think that a woman watching this needs to know, a 34-year-old who would never imagine that she's in heart failure?
I would say just be more persistent. If I had have known when I was at the emergency room the first time, and when I was at the emergency room, they even sent me to the non-emergency part of the hospital after they determined I wasn't having a heart attack. And the nurse told me, she was like, I cannot believe they're sending you home. She said, your heart rate, this is not normal. And I went to my doctor the next day, but I probably would have went somewhere else if I had have known that it was as serious as it was. Even when we were at my mom's house and the ambulance was there, they thought maybe I was having a panic attack or asthma, but I don't have asthma. So they were giving me breathing treatments. And breathing treatments have something that elevates anxiety levels sometimes. So it turned into a full-on anxiety attack because the albuterol that they gave me was causing me to get hyper and antsy. So it took them actually even in the hospital 2 days to diagnose me.
Wow.
And it was really just me sitting in the hospital not knowing what was wrong because I had a lot of I kept belching. So I thought it was just the heaviness in my chest was gas pockets. And I was just telling them in the hospital, I was like, have you ever heard of people going to the emergency room thinking they're having a heart attack, but it's really gas? Because I've heard a friend talk about that with her aunt. I said, that's how I think I feel.
Wow.
But, in hindsight, I should have known, or I would have been more just persistent with the I can't breathe part, because I thought I was just out of shape. But I was like, there's no way I could have been that out of shape. I couldn't walk 10 feet without bending over, and that wasn't my normal cadence. Even the stairs in my home, I was getting up to the top of the stairs, and every time I get to the top of the stairs, I got to bend over, to and that wasn't, and I've lived there, so that wasn't a normal thing. But just pay attention. I'm very, very much more aware of what seems abnormal for my body. And even if there's not a lot of just to continue to like monitor, and like even if you don't get a lot of feedback, maybe you just seek someone else. And also try your best to find someone who does like recognize that something's not right. Like in my instance, my family doctor knew that it was something not right, and she had referred me to a cardiologist, but he scheduled me like 6 weeks out, like
Wow.
way past when. So in the meantime, like my doctor, my family doctor, because she had seen me, she knew my history, she knew that something wasn't right. And then even just knowing like that the nurse, she kind of stuck with me at when I went to the ER, the first initial visit to the ER, and she was like, something's not right. I can't believe they're sending you home. Still to this day, at that moment, I know I wasn't thinking it had anything to do with my heart.
So you are a messenger with anyone watching this. Young women, we think that we're invincible. I mean, I was diagnosed with heart failure at 25 too. Yet it's so important if you feel something is off to really listen to those signs and to listen to your heart, right?
That's right. That's right. And just not that to instill any fear in anybody, but just to like kind of like do a little bit of research. And even though you may not be feeling like, okay, this, like in my instance, oh, this is a heart situation, maybe I should have asked more questions, before I left the hospital the first time. Or like even my doctor, what do you think this could be? I know you're referring me to a cardiologist, even though she couldn't possibly give me an answer, but like even some type of idea, and maybe I could have educated myself a little more.
And did the heart failure just come out of nowhere, or do you have a family history of heart failure?
I actually do have a family history.
Did you know that prior? Or?
I did. You know, this is not something I shared, but when I was initially diagnosed, my mom has it. Her mom passed away from it, but through genetic testing, they're not saying that it's genetics.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Wow. So knowing your family history, I think, is so important.
Yes, and to be fair, my mom is a breast cancer survivor. During chemo is when they said was the cause of the heart failure with her, because once she was off of it and she got medication, she improved. The doctors think there could have been some type of outside factor that maybe, escalated it to heart failure, but, or not escalated, but like made it become like, or made me have heart failure. I don't know. Nobody can explain it.
So what's the prognosis now?
So blessed is what I am.
Yes, you are.
Because
and you bring light to everywhere, every room you walk into, whenever I spend time with you.
Yes, because within a month, so I had to wear a life vest. And if you don't know what that is,
No, tell us what that is.
That is a vest that has, it monitors my heart. And if, my heart stopped for any reason, it would shock me and try to shock me until, emergency help could get to me.
So it's like a defibrillator.
It's like a defibrillator. And I had to wear that. And in a normal instance.
Did your heart stop at all? Did you ever go? Okay.
No, it didn't. It's just the ejection fraction, or not just, but the ejection fraction was low.
So the ejection fraction is the strength of your heart.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes. Or the ability to, I think, to pump the blood.
Pump the blood.
Yes.
The strength of it.
That's right. And so, it was low.
And where is it at now?
So the last time I checked, it's in a normal range.
Okay.
So
and how did you get there? For someone who's suffering from heart failure.
So I first, of course, doing the life vest, but the medicine, I responded very well.
Good.
Had a lot of like positivity around me, a lot of prayers around me. And I believe that all has something to do. I also changed the way I eat.
And now tell me, because you are now a trained women heart champion.
Right.
Right? And that's how I started the group. I helped start the group at UCLA with Elisa, because we're women heart champions. So tell me how you feel now being an advocate yourself in the community for women living with heart disease.
It's an amazing experience. Like, we often question why things happen. But this has allowed for me to like connect with people on a different level, knowing it's not a very like I'm not going to say an unfortunate circumstance, but it's a circumstance that we would choose otherwise to have to be connected to each other. But it's allowed for me to connect with people and just like, say like we like connect on a different level than just like a regular person that I would meet on the street, And so being able to like use the education that I've had to be able to share with other people, it's been like just really a new light for me, a new like lease, like just everything is just like, okay, I feel like I can help people.
I love that.
And this is the opportunity for
It's
that.
beautiful. So I coined that phrase heartquake or trauma of the heart. Tell me what you think about that word when it comes to your experience with heart disease.
I was thinking about that. It's like a moment can change your life. I definitely think, I went into the hospital and came out a totally different person.
Wow.
And I have more empathy for people because of it. I have a new like just sense of who I am and who I want to be and how I want to show up.
Wow.
And and how I want to show up for myself.
Thanks for watching Heartquake Media. Make sure you check out our website and social media for more information on heart healthy living. And remember, wellness starts with the heart.